Hello, welcome to another tutorial on Samonlight or Roberto Brimpo. In this lesson, we are going to build the basic structure that almost every page in Primel or Alora depends on. Primel is the version of Alora. So when you hear me say Primel, that is the new version that we have. Alora has been there for a number of years, but Primel is the new version that we have online. So in this section, we are going to talk about the basic structure that almost every page in Primel depends on, that is the sections and blocks. A section is a horizontal band of the page. The block is a content container inside the section. If you are new to design tools, here is the simplest way to think about it. Sections organize the page vertically, and blocks organize the content inside the section. So let's build one. I'm starting by adding a section, and to do that I have to go to my insert panel, especially when there's nothing on a page, and I'm going to add a section. Now this gives me a new band on the page. Right now this is just a container. It does not become useful until I place structure inside it. So next, I'll add a block. And to add a block, I can still go back to my insert, or I can just, in the quick actions down here, I can just click on a block. Now I have a section with one block inside it. This is already a better starting point than dropping text directly into the section, because the block gives me a more controlled place to manage with spacing, layout, and styling. I'm not saying you can't put text directly in a section, but in most cases, it's better to organize your text, images, buttons in blocks to make sure your design is structured in a way that you can use it repetitively in other designs. As we go on, you come to learn that you'll be able to save your designs and apply them later. So building them correctly from the beginning is the best choice. Now let's add a second block. So I'm going to select my section again, and I'm going to click a block again to add a second block. And as you can see, I have a second block added. This is where beginners start to understand layout. Once you have multiple blocks, you can start to decide whether they should stack, sit side by side, or use flex. But before we get there, I want to explain why blocks matter. Blocks give you control. You can style them separately, you can size them separately. You can even add different content into each one. And later, you can turn them into cards, columns, media panels, feature items, or layout groups. If you skip blocks and place everything loosely, the page becomes harder to manage. Now I'm going to add some simple content inside the first block. So I'm going to select the first block. I'll add text. Then maybe an image, then a button. So I'm going to add an image here, and I'm going to add a button. That is the normal workflow. Create structure first and then place content inside it, not the other way around. Now let's look at a common beginner mistake. A lot of people add one section, then put everything directly inside it, and then try to fix layout later with random spacing and resizing. That usually creates a messy result. A clean approach is this. Start with the section, create the blocks you need, then place content in the right block. So now I have two blocks here. I've put content in it. I would want to arrange the block in a way that can work with the content idea that I have. So I'm going to resize the block. And as you can see, we are in the layout mode. So I'm going to change the size of the block. And as you can see, this helps me create side-by-side blocks as to how I want it to be. Just like this. So as I said, a cleaner approach is what we have done. This gives you a clean hierarchy and makes styling easier and makes editing easier for those who would be handling the website after probably you are not around. Now the page already has a clear structure. Even before adding final colors or fonts, we already know what this part of the page is trying to do. That is very important design principle. Good layout starts with structure, not decoration. So wherever you begin a new part of a page in Primer, ask yourself, do I need a new section? Or do I need a new block inside the current section? So this could be a 2-panel side that is going to host a text, image, and a button. And this can hold text or an image. So for example, let's put an image in this. And then we'll probably, for a moment, let me change to layout mode and reduce that margin to be. We will talk about this later and you will understand what I just did. But for now, I'm just aligning them so that we can have a look. So now this is what we've built in just a few seconds with our structured way of thinking. So if the content belongs to a new horizontal band, use a section. If the content belongs inside a current band, use a block. That one habit will make your work cleaner immediately. In the next lesson, we'll start placing real content types properly, including text, images, button, and semantic text rules.